Welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web with your adventurous guide to the good times, Charlotte Tweed. Each week, Charlotte takes you on the journey of a lifetime to a delightful Caribbean locale where the sun never sets on your good life at a great price. And now with her muy amigo, Carib Carter, here's your host, Charlotte Tweed. Hello, and welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web, one of the Offshore Club's and Escape Artists' favorite podcast. I know that because I get a lot of cards and letters, and I agree 100%. So let's welcome Charlotte, who has wandered down to Mexico. Charlotte, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Carter. How are you?
I am good, thank you. I am good.
Good.
I've been wondering about something, and I get questions about this too. Now, I have kind of an inkling from having lived in Honduras, but a lot of people wonder, how do people feel once they make the move and find themselves essentially an expat living in a foreign country in Central or South America where our expertise lies? How do they feel about it? Do you run into many that feel like, oh my God, what have I done to myself? Or do you run into people who say, this is the good life? Lay it. What's the story?
I have not run into anyone who regrets it.
Fantastic.
So, as a matter of fact, today we went down to Walmart this morning because it's where we are. It's too hot in the afternoon right now. May is the hottest month. So if we have to go to the market or go anywhere, we go in the morning. Otherwise, the UV rays are too high. And there's not much shade walking back. But we actually ran into a lady in Walmart who was just struck up a conversation with us. And she has lived here for 5 years. She's from Indiana, and she loves it here. Her and her husband moved here. I'd say she's probably in her 70s, I would say. And lovely lady, chatted away, talked about her life here. They live a little further up the mountain out of town. So she said they're right on the edge. They came from a farm in Indiana. And I said they love it here. She needed the space, so that's why they're not right in town. She said her electricity bill is $1.50 US dollars a month. Because they have solar panels. She said now, when I was in Indiana, the power would maybe go out once every 3 years. She said now it's a little bit more of a regular occurrence. And we've had a couple power outages, but nothing too major here.
Right.
And, where her internet is, she doesn't have fiber optic. So internet can be a little sketchy, which we found in the house we had in downtown Ajijic. But where we are now in Chula Vista, in the gated community, we have fiber optic, and the internet's been very good. We haven't lost it at all. But yeah, she's super happy. She invited us to church, so we'll probably go check out her church on Sunday.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What denomination did she say?
It's a non-denominational. No, she said this one is a non-denominational one. And it was a bar, and they've converted it into a church.
It has been redeemed. It found salvation. Excellent.
And I mean, you'll hear and find, especially in Quebec, the bar or churches are being turned into bars. So.
Yeah. So I think they're heading the right direction down there in Mexico.
I think so.
You mentioned that my first time I bought was in Vista Bonita in Honduras. Okay. Vista Bonita, Honduras, little community outside a tiny little town called El Pino. So it was way out in the countryside, about a half an hour or so from La Ceiba, one of the cities in Honduras. And I had two American neighbors. One, George, just to give you some idea of how they felt about being an expat. George, who had been there, come to visit 14 years ago, and was still there. And then Nathan, who moved there while I was there to see what it was going to be like, bought a little place at Vista Bonita. Now, that was 10 years ago. He's still there, and I think he's added on 6 rooms. So clearly, he intends to stay and invite all his friends. So I think you nailed it. I think most of the people there who make that move are pretty much thrilled.
Well, I mean, once you get here and start living like you would, it's not a vacation. And I've said this before, it's our life. It's not a vacation. So you go grocery shopping and you experience things and you go, how can I possibly go back to Canada? How can I possibly go back to Canada? And I know we talk a lot about cost of living, Carter. We went to the market again on Wednesday, bought our week's worth of vegetables, bags full. It was $20, and that's chicken and English muffins and empanadas too. Then we go to the butcher shop because we found one that has really good beef. I bought 2 filet mignon. I bought a rib steak. I bought a strip loin steak. I bought a big package of bratwurst, 6 bratwurst, and a pound of cheese. It was $33. And those
Wow.
steaks are big enough for Daryl and I to share. So one steak in Canada is $30. How do we go back? I'd have to live on bologna. We've eaten better here this is the best we have eaten, the most quality food that we've eaten in a long time. Time.
Well, my wife and I just went to the local supermarket here. We bought 3 bags of groceries. It was $110. And there was nothing in there. So I can guarantee you there were no steaks. Okay.
No.
I mean, that was it. That was it. And so down there, that same 3 bags probably would have cost me $15.
Probably.
I mean, that's a better life.
And we would buy more, but we have to carry it. Right? Like, it's like, okay, these bags are about 10 pounds each or whatever. That's far enough. But yeah, the people that we've run into here, they absolutely love it. There was, and the one other thing, Nancy was her name, who we ran into at Walmart. She said, I didn't know any Canadians or meet any Canadians until I moved to Mexico. Because there's so many Canadians come here. Generally, Canadians love even just vacationing in Mexico because of the proximity. It's easy to get to.
Yeah.
But the first expat we met when we came here, she was from Canada as well. And she drove all the way down here from Ontario by herself. She drove across the border, drove through the United States, came to Mexico. And her intention was to really kind of drive across the country in Mexico and see where she wanted to be, what she liked. Bucharest, I think, is the first place that she stopped. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She said she didn't really like it there. It was too hot and dusty. And then she came to Ajijic, and she was here for 2 days and said, this is where I want to spend my life.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So she absolutely loves it here, loves the community, the people. And what we've kind of found on our journey, because, we started in Belize and then we went to Nicaragua, that there's 2 kinds of expats that we run into. There's the typical expat from days gone by who it's, they're just tired of winter. They want a nice climate. They realize that their retirement funds are not going to go far enough in Canada or the US. So they're going south to have a comfortable life where they can go and buy steak and don't have to worry, I'm going to have to live on Friskies for my protein. And there's the other type of expat, which has just come up with the light of the events that are going on in the world. And those are the people who we consider ourselves awake, but not woke. And we know that there is something sinister going on in the world. And we know that Canada and the United States are not safe anymore.
Yes. They're not safe. And as you were saying that, the thought occurred to me that you can almost have among expats kind of an Atlas Shrugged feeling. Because, okay, let's say now there's all this turmoil over this situation in Ukraine. Well, the United States is spending $40 billion it does not have. It's operating on a $3 trillion a year deficit. And what the hell is that about? But the nice thing, if I am in Honduras, I'm sorry, but it ain't my dance. It's just that simple. And some people say, well, that's not very nice. It's nice if you're the one that's not being hassled with it. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, when we left Canada, I knew something was wrong. And I unfortunately, and I've said this before, it breaks my heart what Canada has turned into. And we left because of climate. We were not going to spend another winter in Canada. That was one. So climate in Canada, it's like, can't do it anymore. Cost of living in Canada was getting so expensive. It's like, we'll never be able to retire here. And for even the definition of retirement, you could argue that has changed. And the government, I have no intention in living in Justin Trudeau's reimagined Canada. No intention.
Horrible.
And I heard a voice keep telling me, get out of Canada while you still can. So we left.
Yeah. I mean, so here you are in Mexico. You are in no danger of having a kook fruitcake like Justin Trudeau freeze your bank account. I mean, this man stepped in and froze the bank accounts of individual citizens who had done nothing wrong. He just didn't like their behavior. I should say nothing illegal. He just didn't like their behavior, so their money was gone. You're not going to have that in Mexico. That is a huge advantage to me. I have a friend who wrote to me the other day she's very smart, and I love her. I've known her for 40 years, and she's always has the wisdom to marry rich men. Okay. So she had said to me, what should I do? I'm afraid to leave my money in an American bank. There is obviously in Canada, it's not just a real danger. It's a fact of the matter. That's what Castro's son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for years, I'd hoped that Justin, the rumors were true. He was Mick Jagger's son, but increasingly it's clear he is Castro's son. We knew it was somebody else other than Pierre. But he's already done it. So they're going to keep doing it. In the U.S. now, the new Ministry of Truth has already announced that may be one of the tools they use if you spread disinformation. So my friend I was talking about who has money said, what am I going to do? I said, get your money into offshore banks. And I've encouraged her over and over, just move. Look, when, the other day she wrote to me, and this goes right back to expats lifestyle. She said, do you think I can find a nice home in Nicaragua for $750,000? I said, you can buy Nicaragua for $750,000. It's just a better life, Charlotte.
It is. Well, you can have a life again. Like I said, even for rentals for us, we have our appointment with the immigration office on May 27th. So I'm excited for that. And then we can look at something a little more long-term. And we've been looking at rentals because we'll just do a rental for now. And we can get beautiful places for $800 to $1,000 a month with everything included, everything. And that usually even means a housekeeper once a week and a gardener, and then go get the groceries and the food. We can eat out whenever we feel like eating out. It's just, and, we were talking about expat lifestyle and some of the expats I've met and some of the groups I'm in. In this area, there's a lot of very active expats. And the other one that we met where we sublet her apartment when we first got here, she plays guitar. So she goes and plays guitar at restaurants and they get involved in musical groups. And there's a lot of expats get together and have potlucks or they meet for breakfasts, have all kinds of events. There's a lot of naturopath type of events that they put together as well. Some of them aren't my cup of tea, but I mean, that's, if I don't want to do it, I don't go. You go hang out in the groups where you want to hang out. So, yeah. I don't think I'm an alien being from another planet. And yes, there are some people here who think they are here to help evolve the human race, but that's okay. They're allowed to have that belief. It's not mine. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's your choice to be able to have the free choice and have your free will and not be controlled by everything that you do.
Years ago, I lived for 6 months on Roatan Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the folks that don't know, Roatan Island is owned by Honduras, okay? But the truth is, there are no Hondurans on Roatan Island. There are Canadians and Americans and Israelis and Italians. There's a direct flight from Milan. And I remember one day I said to a guy who had lived there for about 15 years, how do you like living here on Roatan? And he looked at me like I had 3 heads and said, what's not to like? I mean, it's a gorgeous paradise island.
Mhm.
And so much of living down there is exactly that. You know, when I would go into La Ceiba, you know, I would think to myself, I'm walking down the street. At at one end of the street, there was a river in La Ceiba, the
Yeah.
San Isidro. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, but whatever. The is a river with whitewater rapids. People go up there, and you know, I don't, but they go up
Mhm.
there and shoot the rapids. The other end is the ocean, the beach, on this street. And I'm thinking, I'm walking down and the street in this gorgeous Caribbean town, La Ceiba, Honduras, feeling the Caribbean breeze blowing.
Mhm.
Can life get
Yeah.
better than that?
No, no,
No,
no.
no. And you're finding with other expats the same kind of feeling, right?
Oh, yes, they're all very happy to be here. Very happy to be here. I have not found anyone yet who has regretted making the move.
It's just incredible,
Mhm.
incredible. And you know, I saw that there was an article in Business Insider, I think it was, where it was they interviewed these wealthy people who these people make their living helping people get offshore passports, and they said the demand was up 300% over the
Uh,
past year.
I believe it.
Yeah,
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 I believe it. It's you need that plan B in place. I get people asking me, where can I go that's safe? Because they're the same. They don't want to be a part of the great reset either. And it's like, well, where do you go? And to the one lady that we had lunch with, she just felt in all her research that Mexico was the safest place. They have seemed through this whole thing so far to have treated their citizens the most free. They were the first country to reopen, never really completely locked down like everybody else. And there's really haven't been any mandates here either. It's a very live and let live, attitude. So
and you have a sense of community with the other
mhm.
expats. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
wonderful thing.
yeah, you can be as involved or as uninvolved as you want, right? So
Yeah,
for a lot of people, they want that when you leave your home country because it is a little unnerving. It's who am I going to talk to? Well, when you're here, we struck up a conversation with a lady in Walmart. There's lots of people that you can talk to if you want to be so involved, or you can be as private as you want to be as well. So,
yeah, it really is the best of both worlds. It really is
mhm.
the best of both worlds. Well, I think we have answered that question that people have of what's it like for people who make the move
Yeah.
and do they like it? I'm telling you, folks, this is one of those things where the road between the US and Mexico, Central South America could be a one-way highway because they ain't coming back.
No, no. It's once you get down here and spend it down here and see how the quality of life that you actually can have, and that yes, it is safe. It's awfully hard. The thought of going back is awfully hard. The only reason I will go back to Canada is to see family. That's the only
That's it.
reason I have to go back. So
That's
for
it.
now, they can come see me.
And then they might stay.
Yeah, and
Then
then
they might stay.
I'm kind of hoping that
I
actually that
think
would be
so.
wonderful.
It'd be fantastic. Charlotte, thank you. This has been great. It's been a great visit as usual. I
All right.
appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Folks, don't miss out on this. Now's the time to make your move, okay? Because do it now when the prices are as low as Charlotte just talked about, okay? Because the more people go, as demand rises and supply becomes less, the prices go up. Don't do that. Get in now, get in cheap, and live the good life. Let's do this thing.